Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in just a few minutes, Rich Levinsky is going to be with us talking about consultants in the workplace, especially around the holiday time. He always has some interesting observations about what's going on. I wanted to address a topic that comes up at least once a day, maybe more in my particular personal practice, but probably everybody here in the 24 or 25 recruiters we have here at Babich and Associates. And it has to do with changing careers. I'm amazed at the number of people that think that they can just change careers in a heartbeat. I happen to place a lot of people, never as many as I'd like, but a number of people in the high-tech IT sales business, everything from software to consulting to project management to staffing to just about everything in the high-tech arena. And there happens to be, and always has been for the past 25 years, a lot of money associated with that business. And if you're a good producer and a good salesperson in it, making a lot of money in it is reasonable to do. And I've been blessed to place lots of very, very successful salespeople in it. And so I have a lot of opportunities like that. Never again as many as I'd like, but I do. And I get a call at least once a day from somebody that says, well, I've been doing such and such. I've been doing retail, or I've been an accountant, or I've been a controller, or I've been an engineer or whatever. And I want to make that kind of money that those people make selling software or services. So I want to change careers. I know I can do it. I mean, you wrote an ad and I'm sure that I can do it. Just give me the chance. I know that I can do it. And they have absolutely no idea that there is a big difference between doing a job and getting a job. And changing careers is not that easy to do. Now, there are tons of books written on this, and most of them are written by people that aren't in the trenches finding people jobs on a daily basis. Just because you think you might be able to do the job doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get the job. Especially when you hit that $95,000 to $100,000 salary range, companies and organizations and the people in them want people with experience in what they do. Why? Why would they? Well, because they don't want to run a risk on somebody that doesn't have experience in what they do. And just because you think that you might be able to do the job doesn't mean that you're going to be able to compete with the people that have experience in it. Let's say you had $100,000 to buy a car. Are you going to go buy a car from somebody that says, well, it looks like a car and it's built like a car, but we've never run it. We've never done anything with it. We have no idea whether it really works as a car. But still, we know that it has the potential of being a good car. Well, you're not going to do that. Well, neither is anybody else. And when you are looking for a job or you're looking to change careers, you are competing with other people that have experience in what the company does because they can get that in the marketplace. Now, if by chance you run into a situation where there is nobody else and they can't find the experience that they're looking for, they're going to run a risk on somebody. And yes, you might be a great risk. And frankly, if it's your brother-in-law, your cousin, or your uncle, or some relative, or some really close friend that's going to give you a chance to prove yourself, you may very well be able to change careers like that. But it's really hard to do. Many of you are old enough to remember Michael Jordan leaving basketball and going to play baseball. Well, he didn't do all that well. He didn't have the skills. He was competing with baseball players. And yeah, he was the best athlete in the whole world. But when it came to baseball, his muscle memory didn't have anything to do with it. And he had to basically start all over. He did all right, but never to the extent that he did in basketball. So you got to keep that in mind. Just because you want to change careers doesn't mean it's going to be really easy to do. And this stuff of, well, I just know I can do it, just give me a chance. Well, very few people are going to run that kind of risk, especially if they can find people with experience in what they do. Now, those people with experience in what they do may not be as good as you, may not be as good as a lot of other people, but rarely is anybody going to take that chance. Not unless you want to start all over and start at the bottom of the rung and work your way up. But most of the people with any kind of experience in anything at all, especially if they've had 8 or 10 or 15 years of experience in what they do, they're making money, and the kind of money that they aren't going to want to start all over. Now, if somebody says, yeah, I'm willing to start all over, and you can get them to believe you, then you may very well be able to do it. But please, please don't confuse the idea of, yeah, I can do it with the idea of being able to get the job. They're two different things, and it's really, really, really hard to do. I'm sorry, it's just reality, and there isn't much anybody can do about it. There are rare exceptions, there's no doubt about that, but they're really rare, and it's really hard. So think about that. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashir with the Job Search Solution.